Okay, that's him. We good to go? All right, good morning, everybody. My name's Dave Turp. I'm the president of Operating Engineers, Local 793, and I want to welcome you to the groundbreaking ceremony of the Operating Engineers Training Institute of Ontario, Oro-Medonte campus. First, we're going to start with a land acknowledgement. Get my glasses on here. IUOE Local 790 and 793 and OETIO would like to begin this groundbreaking ceremony for OETIO's Oro-Medonte campus by acknowledging that we're meeting on Indigenous land that is inhabited by Indigenous people from time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge Rama First Nation, Mississaugas of Alderville First Nation, Curve Lake First Nation, Hiawatha First Nation, Scugog Island First Nation, Chippewas of Basol First Nation, and Georgina Island First Nation. These nations are signatories of the Williams Treaty of 1923 and Treaty 20 of 1818, and the traditional people on whose territory we are gathered today. We ask you to join us as stewards of reconciliation by recognizing the gifts and sacrifices of these First Nations to make good of our shared time through peace, friendship, and mutual respect. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Stephanie Sandy. She's a Chippewas of Rama First Nation elder, and she's going to be doing our opening prayer and blessing.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hope I got a gift for you.
Hi, Stephanie.
Morning, Stephanie Sandy Dishnikaz. I'd like to express my gratitude. I don't think it's on. Is it on? Can you hear me? Yeah. Shall I continue if you can't hear me? Miigwech for that sama that was given to me today to offer prayers for this grand opening, and with all the people that are here with hope to provide that empowerment for our people to be being apprenticeships. Groundbreaking is very important, and I was thinking about it as I was asked. My prayers today, and then also honoring that water, which is Mother Earth's blood, that water that flows through the land. And I wanted to acknowledge that as well. Anin Bojo, Nimkipana Shekwam, and Chickening Donjaba, Gigun Dodam, and Ishnapa Kwandao. Today we are offering our prayers of appreciation, Kijemnado, to think of Mother Earth. We acknowledge those four directions, Wabanong, Jawinong, Abagishman, and Giwainan. We also offer our prayers out there to honor those medicines that we use, that sama that was given to me today, and that sama that we'll place into the ground for the groundbreaking. We also say Chimiigwech to Gijik, cedar, to Shkodewash, that sage that we smudge with, and Wingush, which is Mother Earth's hair. We say Chimiigwech and acknowledge those gifts that we were given, of that kindness that we say every morning that fills our heart with Mishomas Gizes, that sunrise. And we think about that kindness to each other, that honesty to each other, the sharing that we do, and that strength, the strength that we have, and how resilient we are. We also want to think about the elements. Those elements, we say Chimiigwech to the land, Ki, Mother Earth. We also say Chimiigwech to Nibe, the water, Mother Earth's blood. that flows through those waters, the rivers, the streams. We also acknowledge that fire that lights our ceremonies, keeps us warm, and that fire is also something that we use to acknowledge. We also say Chimiigwech for that note in the wind that blows the trees, the leaves off those trees, and lays it as a blanket for Mother Earth to rest. So we always want to give thanks to everything that we have in life when we say Chimiigwech to all our relations, Kinagadam, Windag, Yani, Nanak. We also want to send our prayers out there to each and every one that's not here in our community and our families at home. While we're here today, we say Chimiigwech. We always want to honor the four directions as well, because the four directions, because it is a time to be grateful. We say Miigwech, 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 Miigwech. I also have this water that I have here. One of our ways of life is we always want to give thanks to that water, and that water sustains Mother Earth as well. And we want to think about that as we are doing our acknowledgements. That water that is important to each and every one of us. It sustains life. Nibe gezagego Chimiigwech we nemigo Giza we nimego Nibe gezagego Chimiigwech we nemigo Giza we nimego Nibe gezagego Chimiigwech we nemigo Giza we nimego Nibe gezagego Chimiigwech we nemigo Giza we nimego. Oh, Miigwech, Miigwech, Kajemnado, Miigwech for today. We always want to say, it's a good day today. Mino Gijagat Nungam. It's a good day. Aho, Miigwech.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Miigwech.
Thank you so much.
I was going to put this over here.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that prayer. I'd like to introduce Dave Clark. He's a town councillor for Oro-Medonte Ward 3. Dave was born and raised in Oro-Medonte. Dave was elected to the Oro-Medonte Town Council on October 24th, 2022. With a financial background, tried and true Oro-Medonte family values, David now helps make this council one that works with representation that is logical, transparent, honest, and willing to be held accountable. Dave.
Thank you. On behalf of the Oro-Medonte Town Council and the township as staff, it is an honor to be here with you today. Thank you for including the township in your groundbreaking ceremony, and welcome to all the attendees here today. We are so thrilled that the Union 793 has chosen Oro-Medonte for your new regional office and training facilities, and we look forward to the innovative opportunities that the training facility will provide. This new training facility is a significant achievement for the Union of Operating Engineers and is a testament to the long-standing commitment that this organization has to developing the top-level talent that we need in our communities of Oro-Medonte, Simcoe County, and the province as a whole. In addition to the mobile and tower crane training, the facility will also offer specialized heavy equipment training, which will benefit the neighboring communities here and beyond. Thank you for reaching out and engaging with the construction community as a whole to ensure we have the people we need to build our communities even stronger. The township looks forward to the doors opening of this unique facility, and you are a significant part of our community. And I hope that you will appreciate the amazing place that Oro-Medonte is to have a business and continue to move our community forward. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the kind words, Dave. I'd now like to introduce Doug Downey. Doug Downey is the Attorney General of Ontario and Member of Provincial Parliament for Barrie, Springwater, Oro-Medonte. As Minister, Doug is focused on addressing operational issues within the justice system in order to simplify the court process for all Ontarians. Doug stands for a fair and equitable court system that allows for all Ontarians to receive fair representation and access to the justice system in a timely manner. Doug Downey.
So that's some of the stuff I'm doing today, but I actually grew up working on farms, roofing, and making sure that parts could get moved around in construction companies. So that's really where I came from. And I'll tell you, I am so thrilled that you're here today, and I'm thrilled the operating engineers are setting up shop right here in Oro-Medonte. There are so many good things happening in this space. If you go down the road this way, you'll see Shanty Bay School. The RFP is going out as we speak. If you go up this way, there's a brand new school, 3/4 built at Line 4 and Horseshoe Valley Road. If you like to do cross-country and mountain biking, you have Hardwood Hills, international level mountain biking. They do training for the Olympics and beyond. We have Horseshoe Valley, Mount St. Louis, Snow Valley, all sorts of recreational opportunities. But infrastructure is key to all of that. Oro-Medonte, as you drive up Highway 11, bridges 3, 5, 7, and 9 have all been completed under this government. Essa Road is being done. Dunlop is underway. Ann Street is done. Sunnydale is almost done. Innisfil Beach Road is almost done. We are investing in infrastructure, and so I am so thrilled that the operating engineers of Ontario are investing in us. So welcome to Barrie, Springwater, Oro-Medonte, and I look forward to seeing the progress here and celebrating at every milestone. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you, Doug. Up next, we have David Piccini. David is the Ontario Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development and Member of Provincial Parliament for Northumberland, Peterborough South. As Ontario's Labour Minister, David is working to grow Ontario's workforce and help more people find better jobs and bigger paychecks. He has introduced nationally leading measures such as requiring washrooms provided to workers to be kept clean and sanitary, legislating the lowest required duration of service for firefighters to receive presumptive WSIB coverage for certain occupational cancers, and is cracking down on bad actors with the highest fines in the country for violators of the Employment Standards Act and Occupational Health and Safety Act. He has made significant strides to affect, retain, and upskill workers through the $1.4 billion Skills Development Fund, a partner-led program to invest in training local workers and build or expand training infrastructure to fill in demand careers in the trades. David is a proud resident of Port Hope, where he currently lives with his wife and 2 dogs. David Piccini.
Well, good morning, and thank you to the operating engineers for that incredibly warm welcome and for hosting us here today in Oro-Medonte. Mike Gallagher, Rick Kerr, Dave Turple, Jeff Hewitt, and the entire operating engineer team. We're joined by so many labor and industry leaders who are here today, and I want to thank them. They're behind the cameras for being in attendance. Under Premier Ford, our government has an ambitious plan to build Ontario's bright future, and you heard from my colleague, Minister Downey, it's happening right here. You can't look up without seeing cranes building more homes, office buildings, and critical transportation projects. In fact, I think Ontario's official bird should be the crane, because they're all over. By working with our partners, we're training hundreds of thousands of new workers for rewarding careers in the trades. But a large share of experienced tradespeople are retiring over the coming years. In fact, 1 in 3 journey persons are retiring. We must pass on the skills and expertise from that incredible generation to the next. We all have a family member who can proudly put their arm behind you and say, we built that. It's up to us to train that next generation that are going to actively seize Ontario's future. And that lies at the heart of our Skills Development Fund, investing $1.4 billion to train over 600,000 workers so far. And that's included 92,000 manufacturing workers to join the ranks of the resurging manufacturing sector under this Premier. 66,000 construction workers who are building things again, thanks to this Premier, and 36,000 PSWs and healthcare workers who are joining the ranks of the new healthcare facilities we're building under this Premier. And our Skills Development Fund enables us to connect today's apprentices with the golden generation of skilled tradespeople who've built this province. We stand on the shoulders of the generation who came before us. And we don't value a society that we passively inherit. We value a society that we create for ourselves. That's something the previous government forgot. From building new housing that families can call home, and highways and public transit that connect our communities, to clean energy projects powering our economy. We have no time to waste. And that's why we're proud to invest today nearly $5 million through the Skills Development Fund capital stream to build a new state-of-the-art training facility right here to become qualified mobile and tower crane operators and heavy equipment operators like dozers, excavators. This new facility will mean more than 1,600 operating engineers can receive training closer to home. This will be a $25 million training facility, and it's thanks to the leadership of these gentlemen behind me, Mike Gallagher, Rick Kerr, the entire team, who have been such incredible champions for their members. Mike, I'd like to thank you for your partnership, for your leadership, for your advocacy to ensure your members have the resources they need to build Ontario's bright future. And I see that bright future right behind us here today. Thank you, Mike. So without further ado, it's my privilege to turn things over to International Vice President and Business Manager Mike Gallagher from the Operating Engineers. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Minister Piccini, and I want to give you the good news that you're already working towards your heavy equipment apprenticeship with the hours you ran on the dozer when you visited us up in Morrisburg. So good job there. We really appreciate the support of the government. And Attorney General Doug Downey, I wanted to tell you the reason why we chose this site. It was because we thought we could hear Boots and Hearts from here. So it's just up the road, so we thought we could enjoy that. But what a beautiful site. You know, right here on the highway, 400,000 cars a day go by there and can look over and see the good work that our instructors and our members do. I want to start out by thanking our members. A lot of them are here from Local 793. They supported me and supported my group, even when I closed the Barrie office during COVID, and hung in there with me on a promise that we would build them a new office that they could call their own. And that's what we're doing right here. It took a while, but here we are. We're keeping a promise and doing something exactly what the industry needs. I want to thank a lot of the guests that came out here, the contractors, our training trustees and management trustees. And I want to thank also Mark Arsenal here, who's from the, where are you, Mark? From the provincial, way in the back there, Mark, from the Provincial Building Construction Trades Council. We were out of that council for a while, but I can tell you coming back, they're doing a tremendous job with WSIB and a recent project that they got involved in doing an analysis on forecasting on what large projects over $300 million, how many operators, plumbers, electricians, different trades need. And I think that's very needed. So we're going to be happy to support that. I also want to thank Jason Rowe from the Carpenters Union. My friend here came out on short notice, so thank you very much, Jason, for coming out. We look forward to working with the Carpenters in the future, and perhaps that'll even be some joint training. We'll see what happens with that. For the apprentices in the back, you know, I want to thank all of you apprentices for making a commitment to the operating engineers as a trade. Training is hard. Training is a hard part of your career, but you will be upholding a reputation standing on the shoulders of many operating engineers that went before you to make sure that we have the absolute best crane operators and heavy equipment operators in the world, as we have done right here in Ontario, preventing accidents, being efficient, and being professional. And we look forward to our apprentices. We have some 32 of them here, Common Core and second year apprentices. And one comment that I would make to the apprentices, somebody once asked Muhammad Ali how he did it, all the training that he went through and how hard it was that he did, and he was, you know, it was back-breaking, and how was he able to continue? And he said that he visualized himself as champion of the world, standing in the ring. So that's what we want you to be. We want you to be the champions of the world as far as heavy equipment operators and crane operators go, because in our trade, there's zero room for error. Lives depend on the work that we do, including our own lives that we're operating. So right here on this site, we're going to be training the very best of the best operators to ensure the sites and the workers, whether that be carpenters, laborers, plumbers, pipe fitters, whoever it is that our members are working with, can feel safe that they're going to be able to return home at the end of the day. And as the operating engineers, we've been willing to put our money where our mouth is. We absolutely appreciate this announcement, and it's a big help. We couldn't do it without the Ford government. But just as a matter of interest, since 1990, from dues and training contributions, our local has spent $300 million on training since 1990 in the province of Ontario, and not a dime of it was wasted. It was spent to make sure that we were the most efficient, and that we had good paying jobs, and we could justify sending them out to work and making our contractors prosper and be competitive, and so that was money well spent, and we like the collaborative approach. Having said that, I had a little bit of a debate with the bird representative Ibrahim there on how long it was going to take to deliver this project. I told him I think 15 months, and he told me, didn't we say 19 months? So we'll see. I'm a union guy, so I like to negotiate. Maybe we can come up with a date that works for both of us. But the very near future, you're going to be able to go by here and look over here and see us hard at work training the future operating engineers. So those are my remarks. I want to introduce the Premier. Premier Ford, I want you to know that I'm an admirer of yours. I see how hard you work. I think, you came up with that expression, get it done. I think that's just the way that you are. Nobody gets into public service, the kind of flack and headwinds and everything else you get being in public service, unless you're a dedicated individual that wants to make a difference. So I do see a difference being made in the province of Ontario. We're building the infrastructure that we need to build, the 413, which is absolutely needed. We don't need anybody, goods and services, especially with a new administration in the South, stuck in traffic. We need to get our goods to market. We need to get people to work. So we're all in favor of supporting the building of the infrastructure, the Bradford bypass, and the many other things I know you're going to do, investing in healthcare and in hospitals and courthouses. I have some suggestions for you, the courthouses, Doug. The Halton Courthouse, we really need the Halton Courthouse. But anyways, we want to build it. We want to build it safe and put our members to work, be strong for the economy. And I know that this is a Premier and his government that is doing just that. So we appreciated the Skills Development Fund and the amount of commitment, that this unprecedented commitment that this government has made to skills trades. And that's really good news, because that gives futures not just to my members, but to workers in general, and also to the financial economic health of the province of Ontario. So with no further ado, I want to introduce the man that's making that happen, Premier Doug Ford. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. Yeah, appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. And Mike, thank you for that introduction. He talks about champions. He's the champ of all champs. Just like Muhammad Ali. You look a little different than Muhammad Ali, but you're still a champion. I'm thrilled to be back here in the beautiful town of Oro-Medonte alongside Minister Piccini and Minister Downey. And, Doug, when you're rattling off all these things that you're getting done, I'm thinking, wow, things are moving up here in Barrie and in Oro-Medonte region. To start, I also want to acknowledge and welcome Stephanie, thank you, and Sandy, and Councillor Clark. You're doing a great job. I always say councillors have the toughest job anywhere. They're on the front doorsteps, and I walked a mile in your shoes, so thank you for that. As well as representatives from some of our province's construction associations, and a big thank you to Mike, Dave, and everyone at the International Union of Operating Engineers. And Rick and your team from the Operating Engineers Training Institute of Ontario for hosting us. And boy, does that looks fabulous, that building there. I can't wait to come and cut the ribbon. The Operating Engineers have been amazing partners to our government, helping to train the next generation of crane and heavy equipment operators. And we're so proud to support your new state-of-the-art training facility, which will train another 1,600 workers right here on this site. You know, I have this fascination with excavators. I own a backhoe, so I think I got to come by, Mike, and get some training myself. I just love hopping behind those big pieces of equipment. Okay, that's good. This new facility is going to be incredible. I can't wait to come back when it's finished. And friends, I also want to give a big shout out to all the apprentices here today. Guys, thank you. I'll be back to say hello to you in a minute. These are the future builders that are going to be building our hospitals and our schools and 413 and Bradford Bypass, and the list goes on and on and on. We like to say, when you have a job in the skilled trades, you have a job for life. Our skilled trade workers are the backbone of this province, and you only need to look at our skylines to see it. With more cranes than other jurisdictions and more cranes than any city combined in North America, we're building like we've never had before. In fact, we have more than 200 cranes in Toronto, matter of fact, 221 to be exact, and then just as many in the GTA, more than, again, all of the U.S. states combined. Commercial, residential, and mixed-use projects are springing up across the province. At the same time, our government has embarked on the most ambitious capital plan in Canadian history. We're investing over $190 billion over the next 10 years. Together, we're building new subways, roads, highways, hospitals, schools, long-term care homes, energy and municipal water projects. But as I always say, we can't build if we don't have the workers. That's why, as Minister Piccini mentioned, we're investing $1.4 billion in our Skills Development Fund, which is on track to train more than 1 million people, including more than 20,000 workers in Oro-Medonte and Barrie. That's why today I'm pleased to announce that we're launching the next round of funding for the Skills Development Fund Capital Stream. This new round includes $74 million to help labor groups, Indigenous centers, business and industry organizations, and others build new training facilities or modernize and expand existing ones. Thank you. These new facilities, this is where workers can learn new skills. This second round also includes an enhanced streamlined application process and a new seed pathway to help with the upfront cost of developing construction proposals, such as design drawings and technical plans. And as a further improvement, the capital stream will now accept funding proposals all year round, which will allow for faster application reviews. Friends, this new round of funding builds on the tremendous success of the previous rounds. It will help thousands of workers across the province find better jobs with bigger paychecks for them and their families. It will help attract new investments and help us build the homes, schools, hospitals, highways, and other critical infrastructure that the region needs, that the province needs. Let's keep working together to build Ontario. Thank you again for inviting me for the groundbreaking, and thank you all for joining us today, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much.
We will now open the floor for questions from the media. Please come to the mic and state your name and outlet. Just a reminder, the format today is one question and one follow-up. First reporter.
Morning, Premier. Lane Harrison, CBC News.
Hi.
First question is about the statement that you put out this morning regarding our trade with our southern neighbors. With all due respect, obviously you're the Premier, not the Prime Minister, so I'm curious why you felt it was necessary to wade into international politics with this statement.
Well, as I did before, it was the federal government that sent me down to negotiate with Bob Lighthizer, and since we're the engine of Canada and 95% of all the jobs that were created just last month were here in Ontario, we'd be the third largest trading partner in the world to the United States if we were a standalone country, which I never recommend. We do $500 billion a year in two-way trade. We're the number one export destination to 17 states and number 2 to 11 other states. So do we have a stake in this? 1,000%, more than any other jurisdiction. And we're going to continue to lead. I've talked to all 13 premiers across the country. But here's the difference, folks. You know, you look at Mexico, they're importing cheap products, undercutting our hardworking men and women, not only here, but in the U.S., from China. They're slapping a Made in Mexico sticker on and shipping it up and taking our hardworking men and women jobs away from them. Unacceptable. So we're doing, Ontario alone does $500 billion. Mexico, we do $40 billion. And guess what? They import $36.5 billion into our country. So they export 36.5 out of 40, and we export $2.5 billion. It's ridiculous. And they're undercutting the market. So what I'm proposing to the federal government, we do a bilateral trade deal with the U.S. And if Mexico wants a bilateral trade deal with Canada, God bless them. But I'm not going to be drawn down with these cheap imports taking men and women's jobs from hardworking Ontarians.
And you and your health minister have repeatedly called the home care supply problems unacceptable, but they're still continuing, and it's been weeks. One home care doctor told us he's still hearing about issues every day. Why can your government still not fix this problem?
Well, again, we're working day and night to fix this problem, and we're getting the supplies out there. I think there's a very, very small percentage, but I can guarantee you I am all over this. And this will be corrected. And the people, by the way, that have messed this up, they're going to be held accountable.
One more for you. My first was from CTV, so it's my second CBC question. This is for you and Minister Downey, but I'm hoping you can touch on it first before passing it to him. We often hear your government talking about being tough on crime, toughening bail to keep people behind bars, but there's another big issue in this province. More than half of criminal cases never even get to trial because the court delays are too long. Why have you not done more to fix this, Premier, first?
Well, I'll pass this over to the Attorney General.
Thank you for the question. And, you know, no government has done more in terms of resourcing at every single level. When we came into government, court staff were being paid hourly, and if court collapsed in 3 hours, they went home in 3 hours. You couldn't build a professional workforce on that. We've offered full-time employment with benefits and otherwise to get our staffing up. We've added a historic 25 net new judges to the complement, and that has never happened in the history of Ontario. We're in the process of doing the screening from the committee and the recommendations to us to get those in seats. But along with each judge comes a complement of staff. And so in addition to those 25 judges, there are hundreds, literally hundreds, of Crown prosecutors, victim service workers, and all the support staff that you would need to operate efficiently. We've recently opened the new state-of-the-art courthouse downtown Toronto with 73 courtrooms, 63 plus 10 meeting rooms. So we're building the capacity, but you have to acknowledge that what we inherited was fallow ground. They invested nothing. They did nothing. And now we're playing catch up. But at the same time, we're not doing it alone. We're asking the federal government to come forward, do bail reform, get tougher on crime, minimum mandatory sentences, and other things so that when somebody comes into a courtroom, if they're guilty, it actually matters.
Hi there, Alan Hale from the Trillium.
Hi, Al.
The Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie has promised to fulfill a promise that you made but haven't implemented yet, a tax cut for middle-income earners. Do you plan to fulfill that promise before the next election, or are you going to run another election without fulfilling that promise?
Well, let's just compare our records. Bonnie Crombie gave the people of Mississauga the largest tax increase in the history of Mississauga. I know my good friend Hazel's probably spinning around right now because they actually shrunk Mississauga in a population boom because people were moving out because of the high taxes. Bonnie Crombie, her announcement today, won't even give you a fraction back of what we're giving back to the people in January, the rebate check of $200. She wants to put the tolls back on 412 and 418. We took them off. She wants to bring back the gas tax that we reduced 10.7 cents a liter. She wants to go full tilt on the carbon tax that's going to increase on April the 1st to 20 cents a liter. She's the carbon tax queen. She wants to bring back the stickers on the back of the vehicles. Again, taking more money out of your pockets. Bonnie Crombie has never seen a tax she doesn't like. She destroyed Mississauga. She wants to destroy Ontario, but they're going to have a very clear choice. Either vote for a government that's creating opportunities, creating jobs, getting people trained, building infrastructure right across this province, putting that money back into people's pockets, and making sure that we're prudent fiscal managers. It's a very clear choice to the people of Ontario. It's tax you to death under Bonnie Crombie, or make sure you vote for the PCs and we'll put money back in your pocket that we've been doing. Every single month we're coming out with announcements that's cutting the red tape and putting money back into people's pockets. On top of that, she's already come out publicly and said she will give all 444 municipalities taxing powers. So let's just continue to tax the people to death, Bonnie Crombie believes. We don't believe that. We've only government in the history of this country that has never, ever raised a tax. And I can tell you, we will never, ever raise a tax.
You've mentioned a couple times a court case involving the region of Waterloo where they involving their ability to evict encampments. But that court decision only forbids municipalities from evicting homeless encampments if there's no other housing for them available in the community.
Yep.
So if you're going to use the notwithstanding clause to circumvent this case and allow municipalities to evict people when there's nowhere else for them to go, where are you expecting them to go? Are you going to send them to mental hospitals against their will?
No, actually, we won't be sending them to the mental hospitals against their will, but thank you for that accusation. But what we are going to do, continue investing in that, but I tell you who should be going into some mental hospitals, I won't say. But anyways, we're going to invest $700 million, which we have right across the province, on top of the $600 million where we see the real problem in the city of Toronto. So we're funding homeless like this province has never seen before. I believe in helping people get on their feet. But what I don't believe in, how about the rights of the property owners? How about the rights when they squat in your park and have needles all over the place? Crime goes up in the neighborhood. I've experienced it in my riding, and they're seeing it right across the province. David Piccini sees it in his riding as well, and I'm sure Doug Downey sees it in their riding. You can't just all of a sudden camp in someone's backyard. It's unacceptable. So we're going to make sure we find proper shelter for these people. We're going to support any municipality that goes to court. And as for Waterloo, I talked to the Chair Redmond, yesterday regarding that. And again, I believe they're going to challenge it one more time, the courts. It's the wrong decision. Do you know when the courts decide? When all of a sudden encampment falls in place right outside a judge's house. You'll see how quickly people change their minds on that. If it's not in their backyard, they don't worry about it. But I can tell you, it's all over the place.
Hi, Premier. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick on behalf of Rogers TV and City News.
Hi, Madison.
On the topic of Bonnie Crombie, you say that you won't raise taxes, but why not cut them? She says you're wasting money during backroom deals and one-time $200 rebate checks.
Yeah, well, why don't we cut them? Well, let me just run through the list once again. We did the largest gas tax cut in the history of this country, 10.7 cents. Bonnie Crombie wants to bring back the 10.7 cents. I'm against the carbon tax that in April 1st is going to bring it 20 cents a liter. She's the queen of carbon tax. She's all for the carbon tax. I'm against the carbon tax. She wants to bring back the stickers on the back of the vehicle. I'm against that. I believe in putting money back into people's pockets. She's against getting rid of the tolls on the 412 and 418 for the great folks up in Durham, that's saving them thousands of dollars a year. She wants to bring tolls back. You know, with the one fare saving people $1,600, they can hop on a GO train in Barrie, go downtown, hop on the TTC, go out to, let's say, Peel Region somewhere on one fare, saving people $1,600 a year. She wants to scrap that. She wants to increase taxes for the residents through the cities, letting the cities tax the death out of people. People are fed up. What doesn't Bonnie Crombie understand? There's an affordable crisis issue right now. Taxing people does not work. That's all the Liberals know how to do is tax. They destroyed and bankrupt our province. Under the Liberals, 300,000 jobs were chased out of this province. Companies were leaving in the droves. Let's move forward, 6 years. And there's 860,000 more people working today than under the Liberal government. And we're going to continue building more opportunities for people, more companies coming here. Last month, just think of this. Last month and last year, Ontario manufacturers created more manufacturing jobs than all 50 U.S. states combined. We have become an economic powerhouse around North America, and as long as we're in office, we're going to continue creating jobs, putting money back into people's pockets, and making sure that everyone in the world knows what an economic powerhouse Ontario is.
Thank you for that answer. And one of your MPPs has indicated that she is done as of February 28th. When do you plan on calling an election?
Well, I just want to thank MPP McLeod for her many years of service, over 18 years of dedication to the people in her riding and overall in Ottawa. She's done an incredible job, and I just want to wish her all the very best in any future endeavors that she has, and I'll always be there to support Lisa.
This will be the last reporter.
Bob Bruton, Barrie Today. Where are talks between Barrie and its neighbors on boundary expansion, and will the province get more directly involved in those talks?
I'll pass that over to our great Attorney General.
Thanks, Bob. And I anticipated the question might come, and I forgot to rhyme off some great things happening in the riding. So I'm going to start there, but I will answer your question. I talked about the infrastructure that was being built. I didn't talk about RVH, that is receiving tremendous support from our government, its base funding and beyond. But for all the workers who are here, they're thinking, hey, because I talked to a few of you, it might be neat to move up to this part of the world. This is a great part of the world. Bring your family on Family Day to this arena right over here. There's free skating hosted by my office. So now that being said, Bob, the reason that happens is because the boundaries around here are something that all councils are concerned with. The services cross boundaries. We have people that will come to the free skate that live in Barrie and vice versa. So what could be better than having the municipalities talking to each other, doing studies, and having an adult conversation? And that's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly where we are. So until we see the results of those discussions, we're not in those discussions. There's a facilitator. Mayor Greenlaw and Mayor Nuttall are having great discussions. I look forward to seeing the results of that. So it'd be hypothetical to preempt that with an answer about what we would do with that.
That concludes the questions.
Well, first of all, thank you, everyone. I want to thank the operating engineers, Mike, your whole team, and everyone here, the apprentices. The future that's going to build Ontario, build the roads and highways and hospitals and schools. Folks, we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to be leaders in North America, which we are. We're going to continue to lead. I want to thank everyone, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much.